I don't know. I mean, I just think that Michael is a very difficult person to deal with. I played with him for years, so when it's time for you to move in your direction, then go in your direction. Don't sit there and try to procrastinate or stretch it. That the relationship is not where it was or not what it used to be, and it's never going to be the same. So why try and make something out of nothing or try to make something that was never there? We just never were great friends.
Never, even when you guys played.
No.
So that was a clip of Scottie Pippen talking about his relationship with former teammate Michael Jordan. He went on the Patrick Bet-David podcast and discussed a lot of things, but in the interview, his relationship with Michael Jordan was brought up, and that's what he had to say about what their relationship was while they were teammates in the 90s when they went on that magical run. And they won 6 championships in 8 years. And, you know, if Michael Jordan didn't retire, a lot of people feel like they would have won 8 championships in a row, which would be crazy. But a lot of people hear that, and it's not necessarily a surprise to a lot of people because it's a known fact that Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen today do not have the greatest relationship. A lot of people think it started with the Last Dance documentary where Scottie Pippen came out and said he just didn't like the way he was portrayed in the documentary. And then since then, just a lot of crazy things have happened in their relationship, including Michael Jordan's son dating Scottie Pippen's ex-wife, which is just a messy situation at this point. But with Scottie Pippen on Patrick Bet-David podcast is saying that they never had a good relationship. It was always business as usual. That's it. Never nothing more. He even goes on to say that him and Michael Jordan never had even dinner one-on-one. Anytime they ate food together, there was always a crowd of people. Either it was a team event or they were out at a party or something. There's multiple people around, but they never just, hey, yo, let's go grab dinner. Let's chop it up. Let's do that. That never happened with their relationship because they were never that close. Now, for a lot of people, that might come as a surprise. A lot of people feel like you see teams that are that great and you just expect everybody to be close as can be. You expect it to be just such a tight-knit group because all you hear about sports and basketball is just the amount of chemistry that you need in order to succeed, right? And if you ever played sports, most of your coaches are going to tell you that you need to hang out with your teammates off the court and build a relationship so that on the court, it's a lot easier to trust each other. You guys are friends. So you're probably more willing to do whatever it takes to make sure that both of you succeed in life. Well, on the court. And I'll be honest, just with that part alone, it's not necessarily true. Like, I'll just give you some personal experience. I played basketball my entire life. I've been on good teams. I've been on bad teams. Right? Ironically enough, the bad teams I was on were probably the teams with the most friends, probably the most fun I've had just being around the guys. There was always jokes, there was always laughter, it was just fun. But that's why we were a bad team, because that's all we cared about was being friends, right? The better teams I've been on, I wasn't necessarily friends with everybody, but we were all good. We all respected one another, and we came in and we worked. We got the job done. That was it. I didn't really care to be a friend. It didn't matter. I just wanted to win. I think a lot of times people see sports, but they don't really think of it as a work environment. How often have you heard people tell you, oh, it's so important for you to be friends with the person at work so you can get your job done? Never. What? Like, that's not important. I don't need to be my coworker's friend at all, right? So it's like your mindset, you have to remember that these guys are going to work every day. Yes, it's a sport. Yes, it's a game, but they're going to work every day. Basically, it's like Michael and Scottie. They go in on the court. They mesh very well. Scottie even says himself he's a great teammate. He's just a very difficult person to deal with. So, they go in, they clock in, they get the job done, they clock out. That's it. I'm going home to my family and friends. And that's basically what the extent of the relationship was. Now, Patrick Bet-David in the interview, he's kind of taken aback because he's like, how could that possibly happen? But again, it's just work, right? And then you have to also factor in just the type of people that you're dealing with, right? These are millionaires, and everybody has their own personality. They have their own things that they need to do to be successful. Think about it. You had that on that team. You had Dennis Rodman, who literally took time away from the team just so he could go party because he needed that in order to be his best self. Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, they needed different things. They're different people off the court. And then you also have to take into account that Michael Jordan was a leader of that team, and his leadership style was not that of, I want to motivate you by being your friend. He wanted to motivate you by any means possible. If he had to embarrass you, if he had to call you out your name, whatever he had to do to get the best out of you is what he was going to do, right? So in order to be that type of leader, same with Kobe Bryant, you can't really have friends. Kobe didn't have a lot of friends on off the basketball court. Everyone respected him. Everyone respects Mike. Not everyone is their friend, including their teammates. Scottie Pippen says, Michael Jordan's a very difficult person to deal with. So don't try to make something out of nothing. Don't try to make something that never was. If he respects you, and that's it. As long as you got his respect, that's what matters, right? So Michael Jordan wasn't there to laugh and kiki with you. He was there to make sure that you reach your potential the same way he reached his. And I'm not mad at that, right? Plus, you have to remember that, like, what's driving him. If you ask anybody, they say Michael Jordan is the most competitive person all time. Here's another story, right? This is a basketball camp I went to. They have, when they bring people in to kind of talk to you. If you ever been to a basketball camp, you know what I'm talking about. They always have special guest speakers and stuff like that. But this speaker is somebody who knew Michael Jordan. But he's telling a story about how one time they're all out eating, and for whatever reason, the conversation of women comes up. Basically, a woman's there, and she says how good Scottie Pippen is in bed, right? And as soon as the woman leaves, the first thing Michael Jordan says is, "Oh, I bet you I could be better in bed than Scottie," or "I bet you I'll be better in bed than Scottie." Like, he's, like, everything with him is a competition, which is just, if you really think about it, that's probably not the type of person that you want to be a friend. Like, you don't want to be friends with that person necessarily, because everything is a competition no matter what you do. Like, why do you have to compete with me, bro? I'm just chilling with my woman. Like, why you gotta, you know what I'm saying? But he's that type of person. He can't turn it off. It makes sense to me. It makes perfect sense to me that they weren't friends. Not saying that Michael Jordan's a bad person or anything like that, but I'm sure his friends are people that also are as competitive as he is at all times, right? So it's like, when you're just dealing with guys who are that competitive, this rich, and it's such a high, intense, pressurized environment, it makes sense that you just want to do your job, go home, right? Now, for me, as long as the job's getting done, and as long as you're winning, then nothing else really should matter, right? You look at that team, regardless if they're friends or not, they won 6 championships in 8 years. In the 2 years they lost, Michael Jordan was not in the league, right? The second year that they lost, he came back at the very end. They lost to the Magic, but Michael Jordan wasn't in the league. As soon as he got that summer to come back, another three-peat. Whatever y'all are doing is not broke, so don't fix it. So Scottie Pippen will say, like, his time with Michael Jordan, while it wasn't hanging out buddy-buddy, they would still work out together, right? He would work out at Michael Jordan's house in the mornings, so that whether that's lifting or on the court skill work, things like that, they would work out together. So they didn't hate each other. They just weren't the best of friends. So in my opinion, I feel like this is making headlines more than anything, just because fans just, a lot of times they have a hard time separating and understanding that even though it's a sport, it's a game, it's still work. So everyone just expects every great team to be best friends. Now, another viewpoint is that a lot of people might feel like Scottie Pippen is downplaying what their relationship actually was just because of what his feelings for Michael Jordan are today, which I'm not mad at. Again, I said that's a messy situation, and I get it. I wouldn't want to really talk about how great of friends we were or are if your son is dating my ex-wife, or, just doing a lot of things going on. So I understand that. But I just want to know, what do you guys think? Is it important to be friends? Is winning more important than creating relationships? Do you feel like you should find a way to do both? Again, I just feel like as long as you're winning and the job is getting done, ain't nothing to worry about. So let me know in the comments what you think. And, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Got a lot more news stories coming for you guys.